Hello and welcome to another session of Let's Learn German. I hope you revised the contents of the previous session and you are ready to learn something new and interesting in this session. In this session, we are going to continue with prepositions in dative. I hope you revised the previous prepositions which we did for dative as well as accusative. Now, let us focus on the prepositions seit and von. These are the fifth and the sixth prepositions in the long list of prepositions of the dative. Now, seit has got roughly the meaning since in English, and this is a preposition which is used to show the duration, that means starting point of an incident or an occurrence which is in the past. Now, here I have written an example. Ich wohne hier seit 3 Monaten. I am staying here since 3 months. Now, as you can see, the ending of the noun Monaten is with an N, because you know that dative plural always takes an N at the ending, and we have as usual the preposition before the noun. I have also told you that in German prepositions can have different meanings in different contexts. Now, let us look at the preposition von. Von has roughly got the meaning from or of in English. Von preposition is used to show relationship between two nouns or pronouns respectively. Now, please look at this example. We have here the sentence, Das ist der Computer von mir, das Haus von meinem Bruder, das sind die Schuhe von Peter. Now, if you focus on these underlined parts, you can see that here we have the preposition von, and on its one hand we have their computer, on the other hand we have another pronoun. In the second sentence also we have on the left side a noun and on the right side also a noun, and also on the left side we have the noun and on the right side we have the noun. Now, if you look at the nouns which are after the preposition von, you see that they are in the dative form. So, we have here the mir, which is the dative form of personal pronomen ich. We have von meinem Bruder, which is the possessive article mein Bruder in its dative form, therefore meinem. And here we have a proper noun which is Peter, which is not conjugated. As you know, names are not conjugated, only when there is an article after the preposition the article gets conjugated. Also, I would like to tell you that here what comes before the preposition, that is on the left side, that is the nominative. So, here we have the nominative their computer, here we have the nominative das Haus, and here we have the nominative die Schuhe, and these nominatives decide the conjugation of the verb. For example, their computer, it is singular, so that therefore we have the verb ist, das Haus which is singular, therefore we also have the verb ist, whereas for the noun die Schuhe it is plural, we have the verb sind. Now, let us do few examples with the preposition seit and von. Now, let us look at sentence number 1. Sind das die Bücher? In bracket we have the article die for the noun Lehrerin. Now, we know that we use the preposition von to join the relationship between, or to show the relationship between two nouns. So, we use the preposition von, and we know that in dative die becomes there. So, we have von der Lehrerin. I have told you that here die Bücher is the nominative, and accordingly we have conjugated the verb sind. It's a yes or no question, the verb comes at the first position. Now, in sentence number 2, ich warte 20, in brackets we have Minuten, which means minutes in plural, auf den Bus. You know the meaning of the verb warten is to wait, and we know that we use the preposition seit here to show an incident which is continuing, which has started in the past. Now, we write ich warte seit 20 Minuten auf den Bus. Here Minuten is in the dative form. You can see we have the ending n. Now in sentence number 3, meine Kindheit spiele ich Klavier. Klavier means piano. Kindheit means childhood. Now here I am talking about an activity which I have been doing since my childhood, and since it's an action which is continuing still in the present tense, we use the preposition seit, and here we have the possessive article meine, which, as you know, in dative becomes meiner. Seit meiner Kindheit spiele ich Klavier. Bekommt alle Informationen. Here in bracket we have the article there for the noun chef. Here we use the preposition von, because von is here like a source, and then you know that there becomes dem, so we write von dem chef. Also I would like to tell you that we can combine von and dem to form a new word which is called form. If you remember, we have beim, which is a combination of by and dem. In the same way, we can combine von and dem to write form. Well, it is completely your wish. Either you can use von and dem as separate words, or you can combine them to write form. Now in sentence number 5, sie hat keine Zeit, da Semesteranfang. Now here we have to first rewrite the article there, and then der Semesteranfang, so we write sie hat keine Zeit seitdem. You know that there becomes dem. Semesteranfang means the beginning of the semester. Now let us look at the answers given by the student. Here in the first sentence, sie kommt gerade, in bracket we have the possessive article ihr for the noun Freund, which is a nominative. The student correctly identified first the preposition von, which is written here, and also conjugated the possessive article as erm, which is in dative. In sentence number 2, seit seiner Kindheit braucht Brille. Since his childhood he needs spectacles. Here also the student correctly understood the context and wrote the preposition at the beginning, and then wrote the correct form of the possessive article seiner, which is from the feminine possessive article seine. In sentence number 3, ist das Buch von dir? Here the student correctly wrote the preposition von and also wrote the pronoun form of du in dative, which is dir. Das sind die Schuhe von meiner Schwester. Here also the student correctly wrote the preposition von and then wrote the dative form of the possessive article meiner as meiner. In sentence number 5, der Brief ist von dem Lehrer ist hier. here the student correctly wrote the preposition von, and for the article there the student wrote the article dem, which is in dative. Wohnt hier seit September 2016. Here also the student understood the meaning of the sentence, and since it is an happening which is taking place and it has started in the past, wrote the correct preposition. Now, let us look at the other prepositions in dative. We have now here 3 more prepositions which are basically used in dative. They are zu, which roughly in English has got many meanings like to, towards, on, at. The preposition zu is basically used in the context of place or time. Now, it is used in the context of place when there is a movement from point A to point B. The preposition zu is basically used with verbs which show a movement. Now, here in this sentence we have wir gehen zum Unterricht. Here we have the verb gehen, which you know means to go, and if you look closely, I have written zum, which is a combination of zu and dem. You know the article of Unterricht is der Unterricht becomes dem Unterricht when it is combined with the preposition zu, which is a dative preposition. Like in the previous prepositions, von and dem becomes vom, bei and dem becomes beim, zu and dem becomes zum. Now, in this sentence, wir gehen zur Post. Post means post office. Here again, if you see, I have combined the preposition zu with the article der. The article of post is die Post. Now, in dative it becomes der, and only with preposition zu we can combine the feminine article in dative with the preposition to make it zur. It is not possible with the other prepositions. So, we can either say wir gehen zu der Post, which means we are going to a specific post office, or we can say wir gehen zur Post, which means we are going to any post office. Now, in this sentence, wir gehen zu unseren Freunden. Here we are not combining it with any article. We have the possessive article here, which is in dative. Freunden is the plural form of Freunde. Freunden is here in dative, as you can see from the ending n, which is for the dative plural, and the possessive article unsere becomes unseren. So, zu as a preposition is used when there is a movement from the point A to B. So, the preposition zu is used with verbs like gehen, fahren, kommen, etc. Now, the preposition zu is also used in context of time. Here we have the sentence Ich gratuliere dir zum Geburtstag. Now, here we have the noun Geburtstag, which is their Geburtstag. In dative it becomes dem, and like in the previous example, you know when we combine zu and dem it becomes zum. So, we have Ich gratuliere dir zum Geburtstag. Here Geburtstag is a time element, so we use it. In English, perhaps we can say I congratulate you on your birthday. Now, let us look at the preposition ab. Ab has got one of the basic meanings onwards. For example, any action which starts at specific point and continues to happen. Now, we have here the sentence ab 14 Uhr beginnt die Conference. From 2 o'clock onwards, the conference would begin. So, here ab shows an action which starts at some point and then continues to take place. The other preposition which we have here is gegenüber, which means opposite to. Now, gegenüber is a preposition which is used predominantly for the context of place. Now, look at the sentence with Gegenüber. Die Schule ist der Bank gegenüber. Die Schule ist gegenüber der Bank. If you focus on these two sentences, especially the underlined parts of these sentences, you would see that in the sentence here we have the preposition after the noun, and in the other sentence we have the preposition before the noun. Well, gegenüber is a special preposition in dative where it can change its position. It can either go after the dative noun or the pronoun, or it can stand before the dative noun or the pronoun like the other prepositions. Therefore, while writing the preposition gegenüber, make sure that you are choosing the correct position. So, it can either be after the dative pronoun or the noun, or it can be before the dative pronoun or the noun. Now, let us look at sentence number 1. Ich gehe die Apotheke. As you can see, here we have a verb gehen which shows the movement. As I told you, for the movement verbs we use the preposition zu, and now here we have the article die for the noun Apotheke. Apotheke means a pharmacy. So, we first convert die into der, so it is der Apotheke. As I told you earlier, you can combine these two to make it into zur. Well, I would like to tell you that you can either choose to write the preposition and the article separately, or you can combine them. Now, in sentence number 2, sie fährt die Bank. Here again we have a movement verb fährt, which is from the verb fahren, which means to drive or to travel. Now, in this context also we use the preposition zu, and like in the previous example, here also for the noun Bank we have the article die, which is converted into der, and we can always combine it if you want and make it into zur. In sentence number 3, März 2017 müssen Sie mehr Geld zahlen. Now, this is a time aspect, as you can see, March 2017. Now, for that we use the element or the preposition ab, which shows that something would start happening and continue to happen. Here we have two blanks, and now we know that here we have two nouns which are basically locations, die Universität, which means a university, and my school. So, we have to first now write the preposition which is used for the location, which is we just now learnt is gegenüber, and then we write gegenüber der Universität ist meine Schule. Now, in sentence number 5, meine Kinder gehen ihre Großeltern. Again, we have a verb here which is gehen, which is a movement verb. So, now for the movement verb we usually use the preposition zu, and then we have the possessive article ihre, which is in plural for the noun Großeltern, which means grandparents. In dative we know that ihre becomes ihren. And now, in this sentence number 6, we have the blank here for, and again a blank here. We have two nouns, Wohnung and Supermarkt, which are basically locations. So, now first we will write the preposition. Now, where we will write the preposition? Here we will write the preposition after the noun. So, first we will write the dative form of the possessive, meiner Wohnung gegenüber. If you remember, I told you that Gegenüber can be easily placed either before the noun, what we have done in sentence number 4, or after the noun. Now, let us look at the answers given by the student. Here in sentence number 1, it is a conversation where the person A asks, Fahrt ihr zu euren Freunden? Here the student correctly wrote the preposition zu by deducing it from the verb fahrt, which is fahren, and since it's a verb which shows movement, he used the preposition zu, and then we have in bracket the possessive article eure, which is converted into euren, which is the dative possessive article plural. And now in the same sentence, the next part, we have 9, wir fahren zu unserer Familie. Here also the student wrote the correct preposition zu based on the verb fahren, which is a movement verb, and also wrote the correct dative form of the possessive article unsere as unserer. Now let us look at sentence number 2. Fährt zu dem Kindergarten und holt seine Kinder ab. Here the student correctly wrote the preposition zu based on the verb fährt, which means to drive, as you know, and since it's a movement verb, also the student wrote the preposition and also wrote the correct dative form of the article there as dem. And as you know, we can combine these two words to one word, which as you know will be zu plus dem becomes zum. Now let us look at sentence number 3. Meinem Haus gegenüber ist ein großer Park. Here the student deduced that from the possessive article mein, which is a nominative, we should write the possessive article in dative meinem, and then since there are two nouns which are basically locations, the student wrote the correct preposition gegenüber, and you know that the position of gegenüber is interchangeable. It can be either after the noun or it can be before the noun. Now let us look at sentence number 4. Wann beginnt das Meeting? Now that is a question asked by the person A, and the person B answers ab 10 Uhr, that means 10 o'clock onwards. So here we have the preposition ab, which shows that an action is going to begin or would begin and then would continue to take place. Now in sentence number 5 we have meine Freunde kommen zu mir am Wochenende. Here also the student wrote the correct preposition zu based on the verb kommen, which is again a movement verb, and here in bracket we have the personal pronoun ich in nominative, which the student converted into dative form, which is mir. Now in sentence number 6, das schenke ich dir zu dem Geburtstag. Here also the student understood that here the preposition zu should be used not in terms of position, in terms of movement, but in terms of time. So we have the article there Geburtstag, which means the birthday, and the student correctly wrote the dative form of the article there, which is them. And you know, we can always combine the preposition and the article zu plus dem and make it into zum. So, we can also write this sentence or say this sentence as das schenke ich dir zum Geburtstag. So, with this we come to the end of the prepositions with dative. Till now we have done prepositions with accusative and dative, and I hope you have also understood that to learn prepositions we should know the articles, the nouns, the plural forms, and also to a certain extent the verbs. I would request you to please revise all the nouns, the articles and the plural forms, and also the tables for them in the accusative and dative form. In the next session, we are again going to work with the prepositions. Well, in that case, we are going to do mixed prepositions or prepositions which could either be dative or accusative in various contexts. Till that time, please revise all the contents which we have done for in the previous sessions. As I always say, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss.